What's going on, y'all? I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Jonathan Yench, and thank you for tuning in to yet another video. I'm currently in the beautiful Angeles Crest National Forest. It's a wilderness area just north, about an hour outside of Los Angeles. Now today's video is gonna be a little bit different than what I normally film. It's gonna be kind of fun, kind of quirky, and essentially for those of you who don't know, I was living out of my car while on the road for a few weeks. I went from like Oregon to Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and all the while, like I said, I was living out of my 1991 Toyota 4Runner. While on the road, I was obviously trying to cut costs as much as I can, and I was trying to live very budget friendly. So that being said, I was pretty much cooking all of my meals. I would go to the grocery store, load up on things, and just try to make things work as I go. Now, while you are on the road, obviously, like I said, you're trying to live budget friendly, but you're also wanting, if you're gonna be cooking most of your meals, you want things that are going to be relatively easy to make. You don't want these extensive recipes that require 10 different ingredients and all kinds of different kitchen utensils. So I bought my groceries according to this train of thought. I wanted to keep things cheap, relatively healthy as much as possible, and also just very simple and easy. And when you combine all of these requirements, you start to come up with some really strange and peculiar meals that I probably would never eat if I wasn't living on the road. And that's what this video is going to be about. I jotted down on my phone a list of like the most outrageous, kind of like bizarre and just strange things that I ate while I was on the road. That being said, a lot of them are going to sound really outrageous. They're going to sound nasty, but to be honest, the majority of them were actually really good. There was a couple that were not so good, obviously, but all in all, I think that since everything was so cheap and it was so easy and quick to make, and the majority of them were delicious, I think that it really worked out for the best. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this video with you, is so you guys can start to get ideas about ways that you could eat in an unconventional way to save money, save time, and just keep things simple while you're living on the road tripping, camping, whatever that may be. So like I said, I have all of these bizarre recipes written down here on my phone. I was kind of making notes about the ones that really stood out as like, wow, this is, what the hell am I eating? And so those are the only ones that I'm going to be showing you guys. So I'm just gonna actually like read off the recipes that I have written down on my phone. I'm going to overlay some footage of me actually cooking the meals so you know what that looks like. Again, please bear with me. Some of this might not look that appetizing, but I will definitely point out the ones that I wouldn't do again, and the ones that actually turned out really well. Oh, and I would like to quickly point out that in front of me here, we have what I would call my staple ingredients. Like I was talking about, I don't want to have all kinds of different spices and oils and crazy seasonings and all that kind of stuff while I'm traveling with limited space in my car for storage. So these are essentially my go-tos that I would put on every single meal. Yeah, they're basically my must-haves, and I pretty much use them in all of the different recipes. So I just want to quickly show you guys what those are. We've got extra virgin olive oil, of course, that's good for sauteing and adding flavor to your dishes. We have garlic salt. I put garlic and salt in everything, so I figure I might as well just get one big shaker that has it all, so I don't have to carry multiple different seasonings. And then of course we have this big bottle, the behemoth bottle, I should say, of Valentina hot sauce. It's a big bottle, so it lasts forever, and I put that stuff on everything. The last thing that's actually not on the table, which I can't believe I forgot, because this is probably the most important ingredient that I use, that is nutritional yeast. And essentially, nutritional yeast is a flaky yeast powder, which might sound kind of nasty for those of you who haven't had it before, but it's basically just this powder that is kind of mimicking like a Parmesan cheesy, flaky powder that you just put on everything, and it's delicious. If you guys have had it, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say it is phenomenal. I would put that on pretty much everything. I can't believe I didn't bring it. I thought it was in my car. I have no idea where it went. I don't know where it would have gone, so I might have to get myself another bottle of that. But those are the essential ingredients that I'm going to be using in all of these meals. Those are staples that I always carry with me in my camp kitchen set type box thing in my car. Cheers. All right, let's get into the recipes. The first meal that we have here is a tortilla, 2 Light Life Veggie Dogs, which I sauteed on a frying pan, bell peppers chopped up, which were also sauteed, all put together, wrapped up into the tortilla, topped, of course, with Valentina hot sauce and nutritional yeast. All right, so that one is actually really tasty. That one was one of the more tasty ones. If you don't want to eat veggie dogs, just use normal hot dogs. It's totally pretty much the same thing. Yeah, this one's really easy too. This is actually probably, I think this is the first one that I cooked while I was on the road. I like pulled over to a rest stop to use the restroom, popped open the tailgate, fired it up, took like 10 minutes to make. Really tasty, pretty filling, kind of healthy. You know, you gotta stick with the whole wheat tortillas if you want to keep it as healthy as possible. And yeah, you got a little veggies in there. Probably seasoned it with some of the garlic salt. I'm not sure, I don't really remember, but if not, then it tasted good regardless. So thumbs up for that one. The next recipe is sauteed broccoli, which I first chopped up, impossible ground meat, which is basically like a meat substitute. I don't know if you guys, I know a lot of you guys don't like that kind of stuff, you hate on it. And I agree, it's definitely not the healthiest to eat, but every now and then, it's not gonna hurt you. So it was the sauteed broccoli, impossible ground meat, all cooked up together. And then I got a can of diced tomatoes that had chunks of bell peppers and onions already in the can. After sauteing the broccoli and the impossible ground meat, poured the can of diced tomatoes, cooked that all up together, brought that to a simmer, let that boil for a little bit. I'm sure I put garlic salt in that as well. And then once that was done cooking, I had some minute rice on the side, finished cooking that, and then I just mixed it all together into like this weird tomato stew with rice kind of dish, and it worked. That one was another one of the really good ones. It sounds kind of weird, but it's a good example of how if you take ingredients that you know you like and you put them together in a way that you normally like to cook, then chances are it's gonna come out pretty dang well. Oh. Okay, next recipe. Oh, this one was really sad. When I made it, I was like, this is what it feels like when you hit rock bottom. Not really, but it's weird. Bear with me. So we got a tortilla, slap that down, cut up some avocado, fill in the tortilla with avocado, garlic salt on top, of course. And then this is the weird twist. I put barbecue chips. I sprinkled those into the tortilla, and I topped that with Valentina and nutritional yeast, of course. And this was a very quick on the go, just slap it all together. I felt kind of depressed eating it because it was kind of just really sad, but it didn't taste bad. It wasn't anything crazy. I'm sure you could imagine how that tastes, like avocado, chips, tortilla, it's just like a little wrap, and pretty good. It worked out. I would do it again if I had to. So that one was you know, it worked. The next one is more of the Veggie Dogs, or if you don't like veggie dogs, hot dogs in your case. I had these, and instead of using hot dog buns, I wanted to conserve and use the ingredients that I had in multiple ways. So I actually used a piece of the sandwich bread as the bun. I cooked the hot dogs, used the sandwich bread for the bun, topped that with some Valentina hot sauce and nutritional yeast. I told you guys I use those things in literally all of the dishes. And then I had a side of these weird like buffalo flavored baked beans that I got in a can, sprinkled some nutritional yeast on top. And that meal I actually had while I was in a nice hotel, and I like cooked all of this in my hotel room, and I thought that the fire alarm was gonna go off, so I moved like the entire rolling table into the bathroom where there was a vent so I could like turn on the vent and have all the smoke go up there. But it was kind of sketchy because I've had hotel fire alarms go off on me before. So that's one thing you guys want to be careful with if you're gonna cook inside a hotel room, is just make sure you're trying to mitigate the smoke away from the fire alarm as much as possible, just so you don't end up in this awkward situation where they call you and they're like, oh, are you okay? And you're like, oh, I'm just cooking. Yeah, I digress. All right, the next meal is Rotini Pasta, which I obviously boiled and cooked. And then I sauteed the pasta with some olive oil, some chopped up broccoli, more garlic salt, topped it off with some tapatio, also topped that one off with more avocado and of course nutritional yeast. That was another really good one. That one worked out. I think that I've made that at home and in situations where I have more tools at my disposal, just because it's that good. So that one definitely gets a thumbs up. And I realized that all of these that I'm talking about were pretty good, and I wouldn't have anything negative to say, which brings me to the last one that I have on this list. This one was repulsive. I'm not even gonna lie, this one was disgusting. I literally only ate as much as I did because I was so hungry and I needed to eat something, but I would definitely not recommend you make this one. This one was so nasty, and I'm sure you'll see by the footage I overlay on top, it looked nasty, it tasted nasty, it smelled nasty, it was just gross, so brace yourselves. So I got some red potato and I diced that up. I sauteed that, got that nice and softened up. Then I added in some crumbled tofu. Yes, crumbled tofu with red potatoes. I know it doesn't sound that bad, but just wait. After that, I sauteed both of those with some olive oil. I had soba noodles. If you guys don't know what soba noodles are, they're basically like buckwheat noodles. Cooked those, sauteed everything together. So I took the soba noodles and then I added it to the sauteed potatoes and crumbled tofu. More olive oil, got that going. And then I added soy sauce and Valentina hot sauce and topped it with nutritional yeast. I know, it is disgusting. Why? How did I even think of that? Like, that was just so bad. That was one of the last days, so I was kind of like running low on ingredients, and I was like, well, you know, I could try that, and I could try this, and I actually do make a really good, tasty dish normally with soba noodles, where I take a bunch of chopped up like bell peppers and broccoli and I saute those with crumbled tofu, and then I mix in the soba noodles the same way. I add soy sauce, but then I also add like maple syrup and sriracha and sesame oil, so it has much more of like an Asian characteristic to it, whereas this was just potatoes, tofu, olive oil, soy sauce, Mexican hot sauce, and the noodles, and it was god awful. Like, whew, man, that's why I saved that one for last, because it was by far the worst, and I highly recommend you steer clear at all costs, unless you want to try it out just to see exactly how bad it is for yourself. Whew! And that's it, guys. That is all of the recipes that I had written down that I ate while I was on the road, living out of my car. Very budget friendly, very weird and ghetto and kind of funky. But like I said, the majority of them tasted good, and that was the point, was to show you guys that you could take weird, random ingredients, throw them together, and make something that is really tasty and convenient for you guys if you're on a road trip of your own. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go out there, go on some adventures of your own, go explore, go cook crazy meals, go live life, go beat the status quo, do all that fun stuff. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.